Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Makartt for sponsoring this video. We're going to be swatching very quickly 4 of their all new Makartt Pro Cover Acrylics that will be released and launched October 1st. First, we have the color Gleaming, which is the one that I'm going to be using for today's video. It is such a pretty, subtle, peachy nude color. This one is the color Grapefruit. I absolutely love this color. I have not seen any other cover acrylics in this color, so I really appreciate that. Next, we have Fave, which is so pretty as well. And then lastly, we have Peach Glaze. Now, if you guys are not familiar with cover acrylics, they are a little bit on the sheer side, so do note that, of course. I wanted to do a quick little refresh on liquid to powder ratio because I feel like it is very important, and this is such a good video to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and fully submerge our brush, wipe all the excess liquid out of one side of the brush, turn it over and grab with the opposite side that you wiped, tap once into your powder. That gets you a small bead. And then we're gonna fully submerge again, halfway wipe off, turn your brush, tap twice, and that's gonna get you a medium-sized bead of acrylic. Again, fully submerge, wipe halfway off, turn, tap 2 times, medium-sized bead of acrylic. And then for a large bead, we're gonna fully submerge, kiss the side of your dappen dish, and tap 3 times in your powder. That's gonna get you a large bead of acrylic. I have a full in-depth video on liquid to powder ratio, so if you guys want a fully in-depth video, make sure you guys check that out. But I wanted to give just a quick little refresher so that you guys understand when I say medium, large, and small bead of acrylic, you kind of know exactly what I'm talking about and how I'm picking it up. So again, we're gonna be picking up a large bead that is kissing the side of your dappen dish, dipping 3 times, and then I'm going to start my acrylic application by simply applying the bead of acrylic onto the surface of the nail. And you'll see me continuously dipping my brush into the monomer. I do that almost immediately after I let go of the bead, simply to remove any excess acrylic that may be left behind on my brush. And then I wipe it on my paper towel. This is one of the things that I feel like we don't talk about a lot when we're doing acrylic application. So always make sure that you are paying attention to your bristles. You do not want to get a brush that is super gunky, otherwise it's going to be really hard for you to apply the acrylic. But what I'm doing here is just simply going to be tapping, and I had a little stray hair, so I went ahead and cut it off. But we're just going to be tapping the acrylic into place. You notice that I'm not moving it a lot, I'm not dragging it. I simply placed it on there and I started tapping it in the direction that I wanted it to go, and then I just wiped the sides. That helps bring the product downwards as well. And then again, just light tapping motions with a wet brush is going to help. You don't want it super saturated as well, because then it's going to just leak everywhere. So make sure you just have a very small amount of liquid on your brush, and that will help tremendously. Now, when I go in with my second bead, I'm going to place it obviously higher than the first one, and then we're just gonna start tucking in the sides. That's what I focus a lot more on when I'm applying my second bead, and then I start blending it downwards. I want to make sure that I am avoiding the sidewalls. I don't want it to droop over or anything, so I'm just focusing on tucking it in towards the middle, and then I'm going to be tapping it into place, lightly blending it downwards. And then here I'm just kind of cutting off the excess acrylic. I realized that I maybe applied a little bit too much, so I just want to make sure that I have it the thickness that I want for the length of the nail that I have. Now, for the cuticle area, it is important, always hold the finger downwards. We're going to take that bead and just place it on the nail and start pushing it up while the finger is pointing downwards. So as I'm working the product into the cuticle area, it's going to naturally flow down when I let it go. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do. I'm avoiding the cuticle area, but I'm getting it super close and then holding it down so that it flows away from it. You will get the gist of it as long as you practice. Once you pay attention to exactly what the proper way of doing it is, it's going to be second nature, and you're not even going to think about it. You're just going to naturally do the steps to achieve the look that you want. So again, large bead of acrylic, placing it near the free edge of the natural nail, and then we're going to be starting to lightly tap, and bringing it downward towards the tip. If I immediately start wiping it, I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of the product that I need, and we want to keep that thickness. So reason why I'm using a large bead of acrylic is because I want to get the full length of the nail that I'm applying it on, also the thickness that I want. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do have also very in-depth acrylic application videos on my beginner basics playlist, so make sure you guys check that out. I just kind of wanted to refresh and go over a few things that I've noticed do help a lot, especially now that I started doing classes. I noticed certain things help when I'm explaining and just going over the entire acrylic application. So for the rest of this, I'm going to let you guys kind of just look at exactly how I'm doing it so you guys can kind of get the gist of it. It's going to be super simple. We're just doing this same color as the entire base for all of the nails, and then we're going to be doing a design over top. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about the cover powders. As I mentioned earlier, they are releasing them October 1st. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. They have 12 different cover colors. I am super excited. I only showed you guys 4. I only got the 4. So once they are released, I will absolutely be buying more. I love the colors that I got. So they are super beautiful. You can see that they are a little bit on the sheer side, which is typically what you get with your cover acrylic. The formula is really good. They're super blendable. I honestly really like it. They are not chunky at all whatsoever, which is typically what you want with your cover powders. You want them to be able to blend and build very nicely and evenly. I don't have any little chunks of color pigment in there at all either, which is one of the things that we typically want in our powder. So that's also really good. It picks up easily. I am using the acrylic brush from Makartt as well. I believe it is a size 12 or 14, but I really like it in combination with the powder. You cannot miss out on the perfect acrylic application. So if you guys are looking for really cute, beautiful, blendable cover acrylics, definitely recommend them. I will leave all the products that I use down below in the description box, along with my discount code, so you guys can save a little bit of money when you guys shop their website. Now once everything is fully applied, nice and dry, we're going to be going in with our Efile. I am using the Makartt Pro Efile at a speed of about 6,000 to 7,000 RPMs. I am using a 5-in-1 bit, and I'm just going to carefully go around the cuticle area, make sure that everything is filed nicely on that area, and then we're going to be going vertically up and down and filing the rest of the nail, making sure everything is nice and smooth. I'm using very light pressure. I just want to smooth everything out without removing layers of the acrylic that we just built up. Now I'm quickly going in with a hand file, and I'm just going to be filing the sides of the nail, making sure that everything is nice and straight, and then we're going to be flipping around the hand to look at the nails from the client's perspective. And then I'm going to be filing the tip as well so that everything is nice and sharp and perfectly squared. I'm going to be taking this buffer that I have been loving lately and just buffing the surface of the nail, making sure everything is nice and smooth. We are going to be doing tons of nail art, so I want to make sure that the canvas is perfect for my nail art application. I'm going to also be quickly wiping the surface of the nail with a little bit of alcohol since I am working out of my house. I am very limited to the things that I brought to my house, so I'm using just a paper towel and a little bit of alcohol to clean the surface. I'm going to be using their gel polishes for the nail art. So I'm just showing you guys very quickly all the colors. I will be linking them, like I said, down below for you guys. But I'm using kind of like a neutral, really pretty fall color combination for the video. I figured I would do a fall inspired design since it is technically fall time, right before we get into like full swing Halloween vibes. So I am starting off using the color Tanning, which is a really pretty orangey yellow color, perfect for sunflowers. So I figured I would go ahead and use that for that. I'm also using my Makartt nail art brush that I absolutely adore. It is my go-to. You guys know this already if you're an OG on my channel. They are my all-time favorite nail art brushes. So I'm just going to be using the white one. It comes in a pack of 3. And again, I'll leave everything linked down below. But I'm going to be doing long, skinny petals that are pointed at the tip. So I'm not focusing a lot on the base part because that's going to be connected to the center of the sunflower. So I'm going to end up covering that anyways. So we're just focusing on the skinniness, length, and the point of the petal. And I'm honestly not being super careful. I feel like they are very imperfect. So that's pretty much what we're going for. Now I'm going to be curing that fully in the light for 60 seconds. And then we're going to be going in with a little bit of a darker color. Same color, I just mixed it with the brown so that it created more of a deeper tone yellow-orange color. So then we're going to be going in between the original little petals and doing that second color in between those. Same concept, long, skinny, and pointy. Now for the center of the sunflower, I'm actually going to be taking the color BeachBody, also gel polish, and I'm going to be infilling that little area. And I actually mixed it with a little bit of the contour color, also a gel polish. It's like a deep, dark burgundy red, but I figured it would deepen up the brown enough so that it looked a little bit more on the dark brown versus just like that tan color that I had. Remember, I have very limited products that I'm using here, so I'm just working with what I have, trying to make it as realistic as possible. Now I added a little bit more of the contour color to make it even darker, and then we're going to be adding just little tiny random dots to kind of give it more of a realistic look. It's nice and messy in the center, so that's pretty much what we're trying to aim for. And then always remember, of course, to cure in between layers. I do not show that because it would be a crazy mess to try to do that and show it on camera without ruining my whole setup. So reason why I don't show it. But please know that I am doing it in between layers. Now we're going to be taking this beautiful green color. It's like a really pretty sage green called Fanciful. And we're going to be doing tiny petals for the leaves. I know it's not like a realistic green, but I still feel like it gives like the perfect fall vibes, so we're going with it. And then of course I cured that, and then we're going to be going in with the color PowerPlay, which is a darker green color, very similar to the one that we just used. And I'm going to be outlining the petals just to kind of give it a little bit more of a dimension to that. Typically when I'm doing designs, I don't ever know what direction I want to take. I just kind of go with it. So I ended up adding a little bit of daisies in there using the white gel polish from Makartt called Glow. It's a very vibrant white, so I really like it. We're going to be doing the tiny little petals, and then for the center we're just going to be using that same yellow color for the center of that flower. Now we're going to be fully covering the pinky with the color PowerPlay, that deep green color. I figured I would do that because I don't ever really cover an entire nail with a color, and I thought it would just tie everything together. It's such a pretty beautiful green, so I figured I would go ahead and use it. We're going to be adding a thin layer of that, curing it in the light, and then we're going to be adding some more nail art to the other nails as well. I debated going with more flowers or a French nail, but I've been doing a lot of French lately, so I figured I would go in and tie everything together with a plaid design on the ring finger. We're going to be starting off with that white gel polish, the color Glow, and we're going to be adding a thick line and then a skinnier line. We're going to be doing a diagonal plaid type of design. I'm going to be adding in the rest of the colors that I used on the other nail, which is going to consist of the sage green color, the darker green, and then the yellow orange color as well. And then always cure in between layers. I think at one point I didn't, and I promise you will regret it. So make sure you just cure before you go in with your other layer of polish. And now for the index finger, we're just going to be doing the yellow color as a V-cut type of design. Again, I kind of just figured I would tie it all together with one of the other colors that I used. And I thought this would be kind of a cute offset type of design. So we're just going with it. That yellow color called Tanning is going to be my go-to. So I ended up flipping the hand around to get a better view of what the heck I was doing, and honestly it was a lot easier to do it this way. So if you guys struggle with your V-cut type of nails, go ahead and flip it around to get an easier and better grasp of that hand. So I'm just going to be infilling that and curing it in the light. Of course, we're going to cure that fully in the light for 60 seconds. You want to make sure that all of the layers of gel polish are fully cured. We're going to be going in with the top coat. I'm going to be making these matte because of course I've been using a lot of glossy lately. But we're going to be adding a thin layer of that on the entire surface of every nail. We want to make sure that it is fully saturated and you fully cover the nail art. You want to make sure that it is not getting chipped at all. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton. Make sure you guys are on the watch out for that launch and release October 1st. I'll see you guys next time.